A lot of people are also working from home at the moment, and that's something I've been doing now for 10 or 11 years. I haven't been working for a company from home. I'm self-employed, as many of you know, as well as running the Bioneer. I also have a writing business and I also make apps, etc. And I combine all these different things in order to create a kind of lifestyle that I enjoy. For me personally, I love working from home. I'm naturally an introvert. I'm very anti-authority and I like to take my own time and work at my own pace. However, I know that a lot of you are not used to it and you're having a difficulty coming to terms with it. So I thought I'd share some of my tips, and in this video I want to share just one tip, the one that I think has been the most important for me and allowed me to continue doing this for all these years. And that's to create accountability. Because the danger is that now that you work from home and no one's breathing over your neck, you just kind of lose all structure and all motivation. You roll out of bed at 11 AM, you do your teeth and have lunch, and then you start work at 12 PM and you work until 7 PM, but half that time you spent procrastinating, so you didn't really finish. Then you go out with friends for some drinks, then you come home and you do some more work at 1 AM. And I'm talking from experience here, because when I first left university, I moved in with my mate and we lived together, and I was going out with other mates, and I lived right in the centre of town in Bournemouth town, which has got a great nightlife. So yeah, I had a terrible work-life balance and I had a terrible routine. I was in a long-distance relationship with Hannah, my now wife, and we'd talk on MSN every night, and I would often end up going to bed at like 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning and then waking up at 1 PM in the afternoon, going to a cafe and working, but then not finishing when everyone came home, and it was just stressful and I got more and more behind. But things looked up once I started being more accountable and created more accountability for my work. So a lot of productivity books and gurus will talk about creating stakes, setting stakes for your work. So you might say, I need to write 3,000 words for this novel every day, even though the due date is miles in the distance. And if I don't complete those words, then I'm going to tell my friend to check in on me, and if I haven't done it, they're going to donate some of my money to charity, or they're going to post something embarrassing on my Facebook wall. Likewise, people use this to wake up early in the morning. They have alarm clocks that humiliate them if they don't turn them off in time. And this is a big movement and lots of people really swear by it. In fact, there are whole communities of people who would just punish each other for not doing stuff. Personally, I think that this is kind of artificial. There's always ways of getting around this kind of thing. You can always just turn off the app, or you can beg your friend or whatever, and it's too disconnected from what you're doing. And to me as well, it's not intrinsically motivating. When you're doing something to avoid a punishment, it kind of puts you in the wrong headspace. For me personally anyways, I don't like it. So instead, I just create accountability. So what I've done for years is I go to my clients and I say, even though the deadline is at this date, I'm going to provide you with X amount of work every single day. And then every single day I send them that amount of work. And because I'm quite conscientious and I don't like letting people down, or basically because I'm an egomaniac and I don't like to look like I've failed, I will always meet that deadline. I will always fulfill what I've just told them I'm going to do, even if that means staying up late or if it means taking some kind of personal hit. But because of that, I've earned a stable amount of money every single day without failure. I know that because I've told the client I'm going to earn that much, I'm going to do that much work, that I will do it and I will earn that much, and thus I can actually predict how much salary I'm going to have at the end of the month, which is really useful if, like me, you're self-employed. For you guys who are maybe working from home for your usual employer, you can do the exact same thing. If you're working on a project, just say, I want to send you this at the end of every day to show you how much I've done, and I'm going to aim to do this amount. Is that okay? And sure, they might not want to look at it, but if you explain to them that this is how you're going to motivate yourself, I'm sure that they'll play along. And the idea now is that you have accountability, and the job itself is something that you can't avoid doing. There's no way around it. You can't put it off until tomorrow and then end up realizing that tomorrow is just as busy and you're just as tired. You have to do it now because you've got someone looking at it. This also forces you to kind of do a better quality job, etc. And then the great thing about this is that once you have that target, that daily goal, and once you have that accountability, it gives you the freedom to now be flexible and take full advantage of working from home. Because let's say you're a writer and you're writing 3,000 words a day. If that's your goal and you meet that target by 2 PM, now suddenly you can rest until 5 PM guilt-free or do something else. Or alternatively, you can get a head start on tomorrow, work an extra 3 hours, and then save that bit, finish it at 12 PM the next day, and now you've got a half day. This gives you the flexibility to start using lifestyle design to change your routine however you like in order to start enjoying the free time. Because a lot of people who are self-employed or work from home end up half working for twice the time, and as such, they're never really switched off, but they're never really fully productive. But if you know exactly how much you've got to do, and if you train yourself over time to complete that amount, suddenly you've got the flexibility to decide how you want to design your day. Now you can start taking full advantage of what it means to work from home. And if you're really productive, you can have a whole day off as a result. Or you can work on something else, another side project. And that's how I built the Bioneer over all these years, was by writing a certain amount every day, becoming productive enough to finish it on time or early so that I could work on the Bioneer. And these days I do my work in 4 days a week so that I have 1 day a week to work on the Bioneer and make these videos. Let's face it, in the office, people waste loads of time. You might go and speak to people around the water cooler. You probably have loads of meetings that are completely unhelpful. This is called communication overhead. Or you might just go and have a long cigarette if you do that, or have a long dump in the toilet. Whatever the case, you probably waste a lot of time in the office, and that's because you have to be there a set amount of time. When you work from home, you can remove all that, and you can stick it all at the end of your day, and just have a big chunk of enjoyment and relaxation. The problem is, like I say, is lots of us don't do that. We end up half working throughout the day, working slowly, dragging our heels, just because we're so used to the idea that we work from 9 till 5 or 9 till 6, but it doesn't have to be that way. Now with a set target, you can sit down at 9 AM and know that's all you've got to finish, and it makes it much easier for you to stay motivated and finish it. But one more thing I will say is that this does take time and effort. Just like anything else, this is a skill. I started off working only able to write 4,000 words a day. These days I write sometimes up to 20,000 words, and my record was 30,000 words a day. I could never have done that at the start. I could never have been disciplined enough or got into enough of a flow state, but now I can because I've practiced it. And the same thing will happen to you. You might not love working from home right now, but if you stick at it, if you keep trying to be productive and use some of the tips that I posted in my last video on productivity, then you'll find it becomes easier to write more quickly, or to enter more data, or to do more coding, whatever it is you do. And eventually that'll give you the freedom and the flexibility to start designing your lifestyle how you want it. So that was something a bit different. Hopefully it was useful and interesting for you. If it was, then please leave a like and share it around. That'll help me out immensely. Comment down below if you're working from home now, and let us know the tips and methods you're using to get more done. Hope you guys are all staying safe and healthy during this weird time, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a ton for watching, and bye for now.